my pettiness as a teenager is quite literally what I'm paying for now when it comes to how I acted with relationships. I treated relationships like they were not very important to me when deep down they were so important to me, so I had to act as if they weren't. Before I begin, I know I look like a Nordic frat boy. It's literally so cold in my apartment. I just took a nap and I forgot to turn the heat on, so I woke up like 4 hours later after my nap and it was freezing in my apartment, so this is what we're going with. And my hair is a mess because I just like slept like crazy on it. I've had a really long day. I had an interview with a company and I haven't heard back yet, and they told me that they would send me the information to do this project for them, and they haven't sent it, so now I'm like, oh my god, did the interview not go well? I don't know. Anyways, when I have days like this, I become in my feelings. I'm not a sensitive person, but I always think of the past. Like, you know how people are like half glass empty, half glass full? I'm definitely more half glass empty, and I do think of the past more often. So on today's journey of living in the past, I have been constantly thinking about how I'm living in my karma. You're living in your karma. We're all living in our karma. But like me as a teenager could be the reason for a lot of the things that are happening right now. And I remember vividly thinking when I was a teenager, I would do certain things and I would recognize the fact that I knew in the future my karma would happen. I knew that because I was acting in that way, I would have to deal with it in the future, and someone else would act to me in the same way, and I would just have to accept it. Like, I hate messaging back. I hate texting. I am not a texter. Like, if you want to contact me, call me, but if we're not close enough, don't call me because that's weird. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, I guess I'm hard to reach unless we are very, very close. So I constantly have so many messages that I haven't answered. Like, I'll answer your message after like 1 month, 2 months, like it's nothing. And this is something that I've had a really hard time with. I've had a really hard time responding to people since I was, I would say, a teenager, like mid teenager. And I accepted at that time. I was like, you know what? This is just going to be my karma. Like, if I ever want to reach someone, like, very bad, like, in the future, I'm sure that they're going to do the same to me. And I honestly haven't run into this situation that much with people. I guess I've had a few friendships where they will also, like, not contact me for months. But like I said, I completely accept it. But there's more to it than that. The main karma that I am receiving from when I was a teenager is the fact that people do not let me back into their life. And when I was a teenager, I started doing this thing where I started dating. And when someone hurt me just a little bit, I would cut them off, whether that was for like a few weeks, whether that was for just like some time. I would completely cut them off. And this could be my romantic partner, or this could be my friends, or this could be my family. But this is something that was a pattern, and was still a pattern until the beginning of this year. And it's something that I'm very worried about for my next relationship that I enter. And I've done a lot of inner work this year, so I guess I'm not that worried about it anymore. But something that I continue to do, a habit that I continue to form, was whenever someone would hurt me, I would leave. I entered a relationship last year, and it was the strongest relationship I've ever had in my life because I was in love. This was the first time I've ever been really in love. And during this relationship, although in the past it was usually me kind of blocking, deleting, running away, they were the ones throughout the whole relationship that were running away, causing me to be the cat chasing the rat, when in the past I always made sure that I was the rat running away from the cat. I always wanted to be chased. I never wanted to deal with that gut wrenching feeling of being the one that's chasing. This experience was very humbling but traumatic for me, because I've known for years that I would receive this karma, because I was ruthless. Like, I would cut people off and not speak to them for years. Like, I mean, I always attributed it to be me being a Scorpio, but it's more than that. It's more than zodiac. It's like, this is probably trauma that I haven't healed from like childhood, you know? And we all have trauma. Like, I'm not using it as an excuse or anything, but I definitely have noticed this pattern, and I'm worried for the future because I've acted this way for so long, and I'm just now starting to wake up and be like, wait, this is not okay. Like, it's not okay to be mischievous with people that you love, with friends, with family, and with lovers. My pettiness as a teenager is quite literally what I'm paying for now when it comes to how I acted with relationships. I treated relationships like they were not very important to me when deep down they were so important to me, so I had to act as if they weren't. And it makes me sad now because I did have one time when I was a teenager where one of my exes pulled the Uno reverse card on me and they blocked me. And I was really hurt by that. And I didn't think I would be that hurt by that because I was like, oh, I do it to other people all the time. But no, it really hurt me, and I continued to follow that habit. And I should have looked at that situation and been like, wait, this is how it feels. It's not always okay to like completely shut people out when they didn't do something that was like so wrong, you know? And wrongdoings are subjective, so I understand that that's a different case for everybody. And I guess when I was young, I did think that what they were doing was like so severely wrong, when in my younger relationships, it was really just an act of communication that was not happening on both ends. I guess as I get older, like my last relationship, there were definitely wrongdoings that really did hurt me. But because this was like real love, like real love in my last relationship, I completely shut them out. Like I blocked them on everything. And I was like so traumatized and just over it all. Like I just wanted to literally like leave life because I knew I would still be in love after blocking them on everything, and I would have regrets because I'd be like, how are they going to contact me? Or they're not going to contact me first because they know that I'm out, that I'm over it. And it's just, again, like in these past few months, like I've learned this year that communication is so much more important than winning. I'm okay with losing. I'm okay with losing someone, but I'd rather communicate first so that we can both have some sort of solid ground to stand on after the relationship. So my pettiness as a teenager has fucked pieces of my life, but I'm very happy for the growth I've experienced, and I guess at this age I'm still growing, I'm still learning, but I've been through a lot, and it is true that when you get older you really start to appreciate the things that you've been through. And age becomes scary because you do feel like, oh, maybe I don't have enough of these experiences, and maybe I should have more because my age is just getting longer and longer, but or bigger and bigger. But we all have a path, and I always have to remind myself that like this is my path, this is my journey. And at least when I look to my hometown, I've done more than 99% of them in my hometown, and you know, there's always a ladder. Like there's always a ladder. I was a fish out of a pond, and so I had to learn so much to even survive, you know? From going to like a small little town in New England to New York and then London and then Paris and now Italy, like I had a lot of growing to do, and I'm still growing. So I have to learn to not compare myself to people that started in New York City, that started in Paris, you know? My journey started in a small little rural town with not many people. Give yourself a pat on the back, forgive yourself, and move on. I'm trying to find peace in my life lately, and listening to music is very therapeutic. Lana Del Rey, girl, thank you. And journaling. So I'm gonna continue to do those things and just continue growing. Love you guys. I'll see you soon. All like two of you that are subscribed. Ciao, ciao.